Welcome back to Turn Back for What? Today's topic, what exactly is Turn Back for What? I've been throwing this term around for about 2 years now, and today I like to just take an in-depth look at exactly what the Turn Back for What ideology is. Turn Back for What is more than just a life-building program. Turn Back for What is a state of being. It is a point in your life when you say, I'm ready to move forward. Why would I go back to what I was? Why would I try to relive yesterday? That bad relationship or those bad relationships, why would I turn back to that? That drug addiction, why would I go back to that? That misery, why should I go back to that? That physical state of unhealthiness, why should I go back to any of that? As I look at my accomplishments, as I look at what I've been able to produce and what I've been able to do, why would I turn back to who I was before all of that? And if I haven't really stockpiled up any accomplishments yet, the fact that I just merely survived what life has handed me and what I've put myself through, why would I ever want to turn back to living the way I used to? So many times, a lot of people get into these different institutions and clinical like programs, and they do well. We excel. Even me myself in institutional programs, I excelled. A lot of times I could even teach the class. But then when I was released, then when I entered back into society, when I got back into the real world, I failed. Repeatedly, I failed over and over again. And so, Turn Back for What is a type of program where we meet you in the real world and help you deal with the real world. And how do I make my life better? How do I improve? How do I take it up to the next level? One of the biggest things that's different from Turn Back from What from a lot of the other programs that are offered out there is that we like to touch the real issues in life. We like to deal with what it feels like to feel inferior, to feel inadequate, what it feels like to feel, for lack of a better word, like a square or geek because you're not doing the cool things, that end up most of your self-destruction. To be lonely, to be bored, to have a fear of failure. Things that a lot of programs don't help you deal with is these emotional stuff, because a lot of times they just deal with your thinking, like thinking for a change, and a lot of us, our issues don't come with the way we think. We know how to think right, you know what I'm saying? We know we have the knowledge, but knowledge in and of itself isn't power. It's what we do with the knowledge. And more importantly, a lot of us, we live in our emotions because we experience the world with how we feel it, And so regardless of all this good knowledge I got up in my head about how great the world is, if I experience it as a hostile place, then I react to it as a hostile place. And so, and one of our biggest enemies is panic, and a lot of times that's what happens. Even though I'm working on these programs and I'm doing what they tell me to do, life shows up, then I panic, and then I go back to my base instinct, which is usually fight, flight, or freeze. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to be in that mind frame where I panic and I fight, fright, or freeze. And so a lot of times we work on that panic. And it's all that easier to not have this state of panic if we learn to reduce a lot of those what we call petty stressors. I say it over and over again. When I stress less, I have less stress. So we learn to build our stress reduction muscles by working on the little stressors. the little aggravations, the little annoyances, the little depressors, the little dramas, and we learn to just deal with those and to not how all that stuff weighing on our minds. So then when the big issues come up, I'm not already weighed down by this insurmountable amount of stress, and so then when the big issue comes, that's just all I needed, and all things just, for lack of a better phrase, all hell breaks loose in my life, and I'm back where I started from, oftentimes worse, because I've opened up these wounds to start dealing with some stuff that I didn't properly deal with. And so now, not only do I have the new issue, I have all this old undealt with stuff. And so in Turn Back for What, we like to deal with everything that's going on in your life. You know what I'm saying? We like to we take a real assessment of ourselves, and we work on a goal, a plan, and we start implementing that. And we allow you, here at Turn Back for What, we try to help you find the resources to do what you need to do, the encouragement to continue, and the hope that you can achieve what you're trying to do. Because most of us, we don't suffer from just purely a drug addiction problem. Or if you're incarcerated for selling drugs, you're not just suffering from this criminal problem. Most of us suffer from a hopelessness problem, because most people who use drugs out of a sense of hopelessness. Most people who sell drugs out of a sense of hopelessness. A lot of the self-destruction that we do is because we don't have no hope. No one wakes up, well, I'm not going to say no one, very few people wake up one day and say, you know what, I'm going to throw my whole life down the drain. I'm done with this, and I just want to just tear my life up as quick and as destructive as I can. No, that is not the answer. That is not the way it works. A lot of times it's choices, one choice after the next, one choice after the next, and slowly but surely we tear our life apart. And it's the same process of putting it back together. These choices, making the next choice. And what do we do in the moments when we don't see those big rewards from our choices? Sometimes there's a lot of stagnant time. And what do I do in those stagnant times? How do I deal with procrastination? The next video coming out will be the procrastination notebook to help us with procrastination. The last video was the motivation checklist to help with getting motivation. And we constantly start putting these different things together, these different practices in our life. And the systems that we use in Turn Back for What are ones that we can actually apply in our life and make profound changes and profound impact with minimal actual change in what we do. Because there's no point of me coming up with this complex system that nobody can practically apply it in their life. We try to be practical, but at the same time, and holistic, but at the same time, we try to do stuff that's actually workable, and another good part of Turn Back for What is that it's a 24-hour availability program. We're here 24 hours a day. You wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, you got this on your mind, you pick up your phone, you get on your email, you contact somebody from Turn Back for What, and we'll help you work through that issue. For me, myself, it was my family that helped get me through my darkest part of my life. And I understand that a lot of people don't have the family dynamic that I was blessed with. And so we try to emulate that and model that in Turn Back for What. It takes a village to raise a child. And so a lot of times early in recovery, we are that child. And Turn Back for What is that village, And so we work on how to socialize. We work on how to schedule. We work on how to organize. We work on how to deal with rejection, to deal with separation, to deal with pain management, to deal with relationships, to deal with finances, to deal with spirituality, to deal with our physical well-being. And more importantly, we try to bridge the gap and work on how all these things are interrelated for our whole health. Work on how when I am taking care of my physical needs, whether it's stretching every morning and every night, when I first get up and right before I go to bed, and how much a profound impact that has, because when I stretch at night, it relaxes me so I can get better sleep. When I stretch in the morning, it helps get the stiffness out of me from the night before, so I'm more flexible and able to handle the day without taking on so much stress. Also, when I'm working out routinely, whether or not it be weights or cardio, I'm helping to reduce the stress in my mental and in my emotional state, And so it's like all these different areas. When I'm working on one area, how it works on another area, It is also a very personal and intricate program, because what we do is we work on rebuilding everything, you know what I'm saying? Whatever works for us, whatever brings us joy, you know what I'm saying? Whatever gives us peace of mind, that is the type of stuff that we try to implement in our life over and over and over again, There's no reason to feel that you can't do this, because together we can. You're ready. You've made a decision. You know what I'm saying? It starts with that decision. Once you made a decision to move forward in your life, turn back. For what? There's no reason to. And together we can get it. I hope this has been informative in helping explain what the ideology is behind the Turn Back From What program. To see how it works for you individually, let's do an assessment. Let's see exactly what your needs are and exactly how the Turn Back For What program can best help you. We have varying degrees of involvement, from just a simple phone call type mentorship to a full-on life coaching experience. We have a 7-month life building program where you got 15 weeks of class followed by 15 weeks of practical aftercare, during which time we're with you around the clock, helping you work on whatever areas that you need to work on in your life. You know what I mean? So I hope this has helped you. I hope that you will continue to be part of Turn Back For What. If you like this video, please like it, please share it, subscribe to our channel so you can continue to get more and more in-depth study, training, and help to get your life going where it is. I'm so proud of you, and I believe in you. You can do this. Before I close this video, I'd like to give a special thank to Mr. Justin T Bomar for allowing me to use his music in this video. And as we close out, we're just going to listen to Mr. Justin a little bit. So far, you survived so much. Turn back.